Hello and welcome to all you people who've got planets in Leo. Maybe a rising sign, a sun in Leo, or a moon in Leo, or maybe some more planets in Leo, a stellium like the moon and Mercury and Mars or Venus, whatever. Now, it's going to be a very, I think, exciting month for Leo, the month of February 2014. It's going to be lively because as the communication houses are activated here. There's a couple of things happening. First of all, the Mercury retrograde. The Mercury retrograde starting the 7th of February and will go on up until somewhere in the middle of March. And I know that a lot of people really don't like the Mercury retrogrades. I think for you, it's in the 7th house. I think that if you are patient, that it won't be that bad at all, on the contrary. Now, what does it mean, a Mercury retrograde? It always means, and it's a sign of the planets, that we need to reflect. We need to reflect, we need to stand still. So, I know that Leo is a fire sign, so it always wants to go forward, but it's also a fixed sign. So it knows that it has to stand still every now and then in order to proceed. If you are one of those people, then you won't have difficulties with this retrograde. It's in the Sun, your ruler, by the way, is also in that 7th house during the half part of the first half of the month. So there's an emphasis really on the 7th house, on relationships. So whether you're in a relationship or not, there's an emphasis on other people. So let's start with when you are single. Let's start with the people who are single. It's a possibility, with Mercury going backwards there, that you meet someone, a mercurial type of person. Who is that? Well, probably someone who's very good with talking, and or maybe someone who's young. And who's a bit witty and who's a bit smart. So you can meet someone like that, or you have met or just met someone like that, or you have an eye on someone like that, and you're going to rethink about that person. And that's not a bad thing at all. You're going to know where you are in that relationship, in that new relationship, or with that new person that you think of. As from the second part of March. So that's where I say, do have some patience, and things will be clear about that person. If you are in a relationship, it's a very good time to stand still with that relationship. And what do I mean by that? Especially when it comes to your communication with that person. So how can you improve that? Or how can you do that differently when it comes to communication? So it could be the case as well that you are going to benefit from that afterwards when Mercury goes direct again. So maybe things that you are considering with the person that you live with, and it needs time. It needs time to reflect upon, and so that could be the case as well. Maybe I'm just checking, Mercury rules your 2nd house, maybe towards finances, or maybe towards things, values. So maybe you value something, but the person who's close to you doesn't, or has other values. So it can be just a rebalancing out again with that person that you are close with. So it's certainly not a negative thing, but things got slowed down in order to progress and become better in the future. So that's one thing. Another thing that is very important, I think, is the North Node, the shifts of the nodes. Now, normally I wouldn't think that is so important, but there is something special happening, which is the North Node shifts from Scorpio into Libra at the end of the month, so the last week of the month. But the thing that is very important is that Mars is so close to it. So Mars is going to conjunct the North Node, and that has a very specific meaning. So for you, it's going to be shifting from Scorpio to Libra. I think that's good for you. That is for you the third house, again a very communicative house. But what does it all mean? What does it mean, the North Node? What does it mean to be so close to Mars? And what does it mean when it shifts into your third house? First of all, the North Node is what we need to develop more. So in a natal chart, it's for a lifetime. We all have areas in our life that we need to develop more. For you, it's not for a lifetime. It's just this year, especially well, a bit of next year as well. Is it all next year? I'm not quite sure. Well, yes it is. It's going to shift into Virgo at the end of 2015. But anyway, it's going to be there for a long time. So for you it means that the North Node will be in that third house, which shows that there is a need for growth in that particular house for you. The North Node, where the North Node transits, also shows where you're not good at yet. So I'm not saying you're not good at third house issues, not at all. I'm just saying that there is growth there, and you can benefit if you put effort into that. Effort, that is the Mars. So the North Node always shows where we need to go to, what we need to develop better, where we're not really good at it, but we have a chance to grow faster, exponentially than normal. And that is good. When it conjuncts Mars, it becomes even more the obsessive nature almost of really wanna gather more knowledge around that particular house. So it's that last month of February is going to show you a bit of a sneak preview of the whole year when it considers your process of learning faster than normal. And what is the third house? It is your thinking. It is the way you think. It is the way you progress. It is the way you think. It is the way you learn things. It is the way you gather information. It is the way you relate, communicate. It is also your siblings. So all these areas do have an opportunity to grow exponentially. So very nice indeed. And the last but not least is Jupiter and Chiron. They are in a nice trine that's nice for everyone. Chiron is the wounded healer. So where Chiron is, there are our wounds. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion and the planet of wisdom. So when these two connect, it's a very nice trine and an opportunity to have a peaceful healing going on. And for you, it's actually in very water houses. It's in the 12th house, it's in the 8th house. So having Jupiter in the 12th house is already, it's already a nice protection of how would I say, it's almost like a spiritual position almost, to grow there and to find meaning there and to know yourself on a very conscious level. So from the unconscious part to the conscious part. And the 8th house is the house of transformation. So there's something going on there. But that is nice and that is coming easily to you. That has to do with healing and that has to do with a nice feeling. And but it's not going to be on the surface. It's in the hidden houses. So, and by the way, if you want to know more about Chiron, I do have, if you check my YouTube channel, I do have a playlist there named Chiron, very unusual. And check that out if you're interested, if you want to know more. And if you want to have a reading, check that out as well. My website, I will put a link. Thank you very much, you Leos, and see you next month. Bye-bye.